there's no value to people when you do for free. If you charge, then they have the value. They're going to show up and they're going to respect things.
If it's clear, concise, and consistent, that's your best shot at winning.
We got Michael Stearns here from Ascend Digital Agency, not marketing. He called marketing, gets his panties in a bunch, guy.
Brand's important.
It is important. Mm-hmm. He's in from Buffalo. We got the lift together this morning. I appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Spend the day. So, first of all, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
My name is Mike, and I do digital advertising for roofers.
You got something better than that. Jesus Christ. I mean, come on, my God. You're good looking, you're built. That can't be your best sales pitch. Come on, man.
Who am I? I'm a person that likes to make impact. I have 2 kids. Love them very much. They're my why. I opened my agency because I used to work for an agency. And let's just say we had irreconcilable differences as far as how things should be done, right? And you try to give feedback, and they can take that feedback or they can dismiss it, and that's their prerogative. And I just thought I had a better way. Thought I knew better.
All right, so let's talk about that. You worked for an agency.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. I used to own an agency.
I've heard whispers through the grapevine.
Yeah. It's an agency. So you worked at an agency, and obviously there's multiple ways to win at digital marketing. I tell people that all the time, right? For sure. Tell me about your experience or what made you spin off to go out. I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I did collections throughout college, and I took the scenic route to get my degree. It took me like 9 years because I had my daughter when I was 8.
Oh, you were a doctor?
Huh?
Are you a doctor?
Funny guy. I had my daughter when I was young, so I did, school part-time, worked full-time, etc. And when I got out of, I told myself, I think it's important to make commitments to yourselves and to keep those commitments. So I made a commitment that when I finally graduated, I would never do collections again because I was good at it. It taught me a lot. I just fucking hated it. Soul crushing. So an agency took a chance on me doing sales, and I started doing sales, and it was great. But what I realized was how we were trained to sell was not necessarily a reflection of what actually would happen, right? And what people could expect.
It happens in a lot of agencies.
Happens at a lot of agencies. Yeah, for sure. So, I would try to give feedback. Like, I think this should happen. I think that and this, at scale, it's hard to maintain continuity between different departments.
Very hard when you scale agencies, unlike anything else.
But you got to remain incredibly intentional to keep that because, like with brand building, for instance, if it's clear, concise, and consistent, that's your best shot at winning. Like those gains will compound. They'll affect your cost per lead, your cost per acquired job, all the things that you should be important, that you should be taking into consideration. Well, things were so siloed, right? So if you've got somebody spending $5,000 in this product, $10,000 in this product, $10,000 in this product, and it's like nobody knows what
size agency were you working for?
They were a big one.
About the size of one, I see about 100 people. Ballpark bigger. Okay, so that's really siloed because even at 100, you're siloed.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
and that's not changing.
It's probably not changing.
Is our government siloed?
What? No, of course not, dude.
I mean,
that's my degree is poli-sci, so we could chop it up on that for a minute.
I mean, think about that. I mean, of course, the bigger you get, the bigger silos become. People don't understand that. And that's what makes it so hard to scale. Once you get a certain size as a digital agency, you keep scaling just because of your brand. But really, you're running in silos and it becomes counterproductive.
Yeah, it's a challenge. So
you're going to face the same challenges as you grow. You will, maybe.
But I don't think it's. I think it's something where if you put focus and attention to it, you can minimize the detriment that it serves to your clients to some degree. Now, I'm not setting out to be a $50 million agency either, right? So,
what size do? I mean, even if you put it and so we had that challenge. I'll be very transparent with you. And we probably realized that challenge is when we increased the 7 to 8 million mark. We're like, wait a minute, our social department, the social media department siloed. Our PPC siloed, our SEO siloed. SEO and PPC work hand in hand together. I believe social media works hand. I think it all works hand in hand, right? Email marketing, I think even brand consistency of colors, your fucking logo, everything. Like, you'd be surprised. Like, somebody will send out an email marketing campaign, doesn't have the right colors of the company. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Sure. Correct. So, but the point I'm making is, so we put PMs in charge, project managers in charge, right? I don't know what they call them now. And at the time, we definitely saw a lift in things getting better.
Yeah.
And that was like the only Band-Aid we could come up with. But then still, if the PM doesn't do their job and talk to all departments and get them on a call, and we went to a weekly call, which wasn't scalable to say we're going to have a weekly call on every single account because accounts pay different amount of money. And it was a struggle. Like that still was a struggle when I sold. Getting all the departments to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that motherfucker sits right there. That motherfucker sits right there. You can't walk over and just talk to him. It has to be 8 emails back and forth.
Right. So, I mean, it comes down to, like, how are you fulfilling? Where are you putting the information with regards to fulfillment? Who's tasked with that? Do you have a position like an account manager whose job is to spearhead, like, running point, being the facilitator? For me, I was a salesperson. So we had account managers, and some of them were really good. And then it's just like any position, any company, any industry. Some people aren't good at what they do. Some people are good and they don't care enough. And some people are just like elite, right? So we had a mix, and I never wanted to leave it to chance. So I pretty much took on the role of account manager as well for my customers. And I was proactively, as a salesperson, communicating with this department, this department, this department.
You were doing sales and account manager, which is very hard to do.
Yeah. My customers loved it. I hated it, right? But it was necessary because at the end of the day, it's my face, right?
100%.
I feel responsible. Like, I convinced you to give me your money. So the results reflects directly on me. And when I used to do drugs, and then I got clean. And the one thing I could say that consistently makes me feel okay is, like, are you doing the best that you can? And if you can answer that question honestly at the end of the day, like, I sleep much better.
Yeah.
If I didn't do everything that I could to change that effect, that impact.
And this is really one of the things people don't realize. When you take money for digital marketing, right? And this is where I do believe 95% of the people in digital marketing space are good people, but they're shitty digital marketers. Mm-hmm. They have no clue. They got a laptop. They think, oh man, listen, it's cool to be a digital marketer. What do? I do. Okay, you do Google Ads. Can you open up the interface and show them? What do you mean? Oh, show me your change history. Oh, show me your quality score. Show me, show me your conversion. Oh, yeah, stutter. You know what I mean?
What is Search Console?
Correct. So all these things, but what I will tell you this is, I do believe 95% of the digital agencies out there are stone cold garbage.
Yeah.
Stone cold garbage.
You might be light on that assessment.
Like stone cold garbage. And people are like, why? Because I left the space 2 years ago. And I'm thinking about coming back, and we worked out this morning. I am. He said the water's warm. Jump in. You peed in it, right? And the reason why is I'm tired. Like, I mean, how can it still be the same shitty products? You got AI now, which should make everyone's job that much easier. ChatGPT, that should make everyone's job. You have reporting that is a simple dashboard that anyone can have access to if you're in a digital agency to show if it's working or not. And yet these agencies aren't even giving this shit out. I mean, can you explain to me why?
I think, personally, it comes back to sales. And I think that a lot of these folks, well-intentioned or not, they take a couple courses, they have some exposure, they see the upside, right? Fuck, I'm going to do this. And then they charge, $600 a month for SEO or for social media management or whatever. And one, they're not equipped to do the job correctly, right? So for social media, like if you're going to pay someone $600 to $1,000 a month to post 17 syllables 3 times a week on your Facebook, fucking, you might as well burn your money. Come over, I'll have a bonfire. You could do that with downloading company cam shit and using ChatGPT and have somebody do 30 posts for 30 days and have it sync up and go to Google Business Profile, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
And once it's set up, it costs you nothing. Just have ChatGPT do you a calendar and just download it and just post it.
So like when somebody reaches out to Ascend, they contact through the website, through Messenger, whatever. They have to pay a consult fee with me. They pay me $1,500 and I spend like 2 or 3 hours with them walking through all of this stuff. Like my job here is to show you how to make money outside of spending money with anybody else, right? And then on the latter half of that, like let's talk about like website SEO, Google Ads, what it should look like, what a good website should be. Website structure is super important for SEO. Google Ads, like are you going to own your ad account or is somebody else going to own it? Because when you go to leave, that matters. And usually people don't know until after the fact, right?
And everybody leaves a digital agency. Listen, I had one SEO for 14 years or 15 years. And yes, I can't give you the exact number of my first 50 clients were a big part of them still there. A lot were. Yeah. But people still left. And what's funny is this is the most crazy part about this space. I say this to everyone is you could be killing it for someone and you get fired. You could be totally sucking wind and they love you. It is the most fucking bizarre
It's the worst when like you're crushing it and they're like, we're going somewhere else.
And you're like, what?
Piece of my soul dies. I'm like, I don't understand. I'm like, do you know how many people, if I could plug them into what's happening right now for you, would pay 3 times as much for this, 4 times?
But the problem is, and this is why I always say, you got fired because you deserve to get fired because we weren't communicating, meaning you too, like me too. We were communicating as an organization what we were doing good, what we were doing bad.
Right.
Like, it all comes down to people don't leave if you communicate the right stuff. And
It's perceived value.
Correct.
And if there's not the communication, it's not in their face, they're not going to perceive it to be valuable. And they've got 200 motherfuckers a day banging on their door. Dear sir, madam, I noticed your SEO is fucked up. And you'll get those emails regardless of if it's fucked up or not, right? Or my favorite is like page speed insights. Says here you're at a 57 on mobile speed. Site renders fine. There's no issues with it. SEO's humming right along. So I had a customer and I pulled up ESPN. I'm like, you think they're a good company? Like, yeah. Like, do you think their website is pretty good? Like, yeah, I imagine it's elite. And it scored like 29 or something.
Oh, put Google right in there. Put Yahoo in there. Like, just start putting your own shit back in there.
I was like, look at it. And I'm not dismissing everything. I'm like, but a lot of these things are barometers, right? There's things that you should bring to the light. But the problem is, like, you should hold your marketing agency accountable, 1,000%. But there is such a thing as a toxic accountability. Like, when you're approaching somebody to hold them accountable in a way where it feels like us versus them, nobody likes that shit.
Well, no one. Well, Julius, you there? Julius, who's the guy that sent me the email? What's his name? I'm going to put this guy on blast. This guy sends you what's his name? This is a great story. Julius, what's his name? So the guy said, you have his name? So you talk about, I'm going to put, so this guy Jason sends me an email and it caught my attention. So Julius reads all my emails. If I'm bored, I'll go into my emails, just read, but I try not to look at my emails ever.
No.
But the guy sends me one on real estate investing and I own a ton of property, right? And he said, you don't have to own the property. You'll be part of our fund. And it caught my attention. Once I give my investment, they pay me back over dividends, but I still keep my percentage so they don't kick me out of the fund. So I was like, all right, this is no fucking brainer. I'll put a few $1 million into this fund. Like, he caught my attention, right? So I immediately said, Joe, at least give him 30 minutes. The guy sends back an email saying, I just want to make sure you meet this requirements. And when it say $1 million net worth, Julius, $1 million net worth, and including your primary residence, is your $1 million in net worth, and do you have $50,000 liquid cash you could invest before we set up this call? Now, this is his response to me saying, Jolie, Now, you see my signature at the bottom of my fucking email.
Yeah.
This guy did not think for a moment to Google my name. What was my response, Jolie? We're going to put it up here into the thing. JC, Google people before you respond. And it'd have been simple to have these questions answered. Jolie's cancel this meeting and don't set it up.
Yeah.
And like the reason why is that's the same thing with SEO and these automated bullshit reports. These guys just send them out. And this is where we had a woman come to me probably 10 years ago. I'll never forget. She had an e-commerce site. And her e-commerce site, are very hard to get going, right?
Yeah.
And her e-commerce site was only about a year old. And she called me up and she was like, my alt tag, she had this fucking report. Like, I didn't build the site, but this woman was doing almost $100,000 a month on e-commerce. And it was only less than a year old, $100,000 a month, right? And I'm thinking to myself, we represent a lot of e-commerce, but $100,000 a month in e-commerce is a good e-commerce site for less than a year old, in my opinion, right?
Sure.
This doesn't include her Amazon account, doesn't include anything else she was doing. Older lady, probably 65, 70s, probably passed away by this point. I hope not, but, she was older. And she was like, but Lance, the alt tags, everyone said this and this. I said, ma'am, listen, I would love to take you as a client. I'll take you as a client. But every metric I'm looking at, your organic traffic's growing. Your PPC ads are converting. You have I think our conversion rate on PPC for e-commerce is like fucking almost 4 or 5%, which the average site non-brand, it's less than 1 or 2%. I'm like, I don't want to sell you a bag of shit. Like, what I would do is say, these are high priority items, these are low priority items, these are mid priority items. You have nothing on your list of all this automated reports that even go above the mid.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't you want my business? Aren't I a big enough account? I'm like, you are more than a big enough account. I think her fees to us would have been like $7,000 a month, right? Because that's what she's paying them.
Yeah.
I'm like, that makes you a nice size account for any agency, $7,000 a month in just fees. And she's like, you don't think I should leave who I'm with? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I knew that my team probably couldn't outperform what she was already getting.
If it ain't broke, don't break it.
And that's the problem. And that's the issue. And that's how you get fired, though. Because it was very easy for me to sell the woman. I could have sold her.
Right.
I mean, she wanted to buy.
Yeah. Money.
She wanted to be on the Lance Bachmann choo-choo train.
No.
Like, that's it. No, she did. She did. She had your hand. Like, there's people, if I go back into the space, they're just coming back as clients because they want to be on the fucking Lance Bachmann train. They know I produce results. But if someone's already getting results, the last thing you want to do is take them as a client because that's just making yourself, because when you go backwards,
yeah, it's a problem.
It ain't a good thing. So let's talk about Ascend. You're growing. You guys only represent roofing for the most part, right? About 90%?
Yeah.
And why roofers? I mean, you're not a roofer.
My dad was a roofer.
Oh, so that's what made you
I
pick
used
it.
to see his checks. So the one we had,
What made you get into roofing?
Oh, I'm going to get there. You want me to take the scenic road, or you want
I want to take a step back and say, how's the company doing that you left? I'm sure they're still doing.
Sure, they're fine.
They're fine.
I wish them well. I learned a lot there.
What did they say when you leave? When you left?
Not much.
They didn't think you were going to make it.
Who knows?
How many other people left their company and made it? Probably not many.
No.
That's the problem. That's why people don't care.
Right.
Everyone says I'm going to start my own agency and try and make it. And you have what, probably 20 employees, 15 employees?
Yeah, in the range, yeah.
Okay, so you're growing, right?
Growing.
You're a growing company. I think you tripled your business every year. Or grown by at least 30% every year.
Between 50 and 100
Okay.
every year.
That's good growth.
It's okay. Well, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so now you're out on your own. You go into roofing. Your dad's a roofer. See, I don't think you said I'm going to go into roofing because my dad's a roofer.
No, it was, so that was part of it. And when I was like 15, 16, I used to, like 14, 15, I'd hand out like flyers for a roofing company that was in the neighborhood. I'd say, I'll give you $100, go do X, Y, and Z, right?
Oh, yeah?
And I handed out a good portion of them. I'd be lying if I said it. I handed out every one of them. But he got his money's worth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, dude, if you're watching. Anyway.
This guy's a character.
Well, I'm just saying. So when I got out of college, got a position in sales, we sold, we provided services for every industry, right? So doctors, lawyers, it doesn't matter, plumbers, roofers, HVAC. And what I quickly realized, I had a couple restaurants. I didn't want to work with companies that had a model of like a lifetime, like the lifetime value, more of an acquisition business model.
Is restaurants the worst?
Here's the thing, right? It's great. If I bring you 50 new clients this month, you're going to be excited. And then you figure out, okay, I made $68. So now, but here, nobody ever, for the most part, there's exceptions, but nobody ever feels their marketing or advertising is working as well as it is when it's truly working. So if I can quantify that, that's why that was my allure to digital marketing with digital marketing was, okay, we can actually quantify this. If I prove that I made you $68, I can't prove how many times fucking Jane came back over the course of the year and bought tacos from you. Like, it would be really hard. I'd be relying on information from you.
And they're not giving you that.
And,
They don't know it themselves.
They don't know it themselves. They don't know it themselves, right? And if they do know it, like, are you going to lay your cards on the table? Probably not, because if it is working well, you'll fear that I'm going to charge you more because of it. Mm-hmm. So with a business like roofing, where it's high ticket, you can attribute, it's not 100%, but you can usually attribute value from lead to CRM, closed deal, et cetera.
If you're on Service Titan, you can track the whole thing. Like, that's some guy was just on Job Nimbus. He was asking me, like, what would you do? I'm like, why would you not just go right to Service Titan?
Yeah, but if somebody clicks on your website, they click one of your informational blogs, right? Like, best shingle roofing guide at 20 shoulder 5. They go back 4 days later because their wife's beating up about making the decision. They come back to the site through a Google ad, and then they convert on local service.
Huh?
It's not, like, how are you going to attribute?
Well, in Google Analytics, you can see the multiple touch attribution points, but no one's going to go that far except for me. But what I will tell you for me, because I'm nuts, right? But not everyone's like me. But what you can do, I don't need it to be that high. All I need to do is go in Service Titan, print out my marketing report every single month, and it breaks it down to me. Angie's got me this many leads. This is how much revenue we did. I know what my Angie's budget was. Pay-per-click, same thing. LSA, same thing. So I've yet to see where I'm not making money unless it's just pathetic. And if it's just pathetic, then we got to have a conversation. Make sense?
Sure.
But overall, people are like, oh, well, it could be a month or 2 month delay on PPC or 3 months, which is fine. I agree with you on that. I'm not going to argue with that. So let's see it roll out. Let's look at a 6 month snapshot. Let's look at a 9 month snapshot. If it's not there after 9 months to a year, we'd all agree it's probably not fucking working.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I like Service Titan. That's why I'm a big tracker data guy. But you are right. If it's a multiple touch attribution, then yeah, it's going to be very hard to track unless you know how to go find that data.
Well, and then you've got to have somebody that's equally willing to sit through you parsing that data and have that conversation, not get lost, and make them feel as if you're selling them a bag of shit through that conversation.
Well, I think I
don't know. We work with a lot of roofers. Getting a roofer to show up for a 30-minute overview when they're investing $20,000 a month is still challenging.
Oh, well, that's the whole thing. I never understood this. Why I did own the agency was, how do you not show up? You're paying us $60,000. You're investing $60,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $10,000 a month. And listen, this is why I'm a Katie Donovan supporter, because her minimum fee is $6,000. When I come back into the space, which I'm really considering, my minimum fee for me running digital marketing will be $7,500 a month. That's going to be my minimum fee. And you're like, well, holy shit, dude, you're not no, I know what my time's worth. Fuck it. You will have to take it serious.
Yeah.
That's why I started my coaching group. It was $100,000 a year. Like I said to you, I told you I'd have done it for free. Yes or no?
Yeah.
And there's no value to people when you do shit for free. But if you charge, then they have the value. They're going to show up and they're going to respect things.
Yeah.
And when people, I just look at it this way, I have a very different model now. I'm like, you're right, because the first thing, and this is what surprised me about you. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
37.
So you're 37, right? The first question, 10 minutes of us working out, you don't even know this. You say, can you tell me your book rate? Can you tell me what your sales book rate is? Can you tell me their close? But you started asking business questions, not digital marketing questions. And I was like, all right, this fucking kid gets it. This kid understands the business side. But the problem is 90% of your clients can't even answer those questions.
Yeah.
That's where the problem occurs. So you could be killing it. If they can't answer the fucking question, a simple question of what's your lead to speed average time, if you can't tell me what your book rate is on a lead, I mean, if I get 100 leads, am I booking 80%? Am I booking? We had a conversation today. Do you know what the average touch points it is for you to get all your leads? I mean, you should be touching your leads this many times. You know what it is?
17.
It is 17. It's 17. Now, how many people do you think are really contacting their leads 17 times?
Couldn't tell you. I'd hate to speculate.
What do you think, though, of your clients?
I think it would be south of 50%.
I think it's going to be south of 10%. Probably. Because they don't invest in the AI. How many of your clients are using AI right now to help out?
A good portion.
Good portion?
Yeah. That's a spectrum, right? And if you hardly using it versus using it to its full capacity, I think I would say that my clients are doing a lot better job using it now.
Are you pushing it? Are you saying, come on, guys, get on the AI train here, man?
Yeah. Well, during that consult, I was on a consult the other day, and I'm showing them okay, are you using company cam? No, we're using our camera roll. Okay, that's fine. Download all your photos to your desktop. Okay.
You like company cam? Are you a company cam guy?
I mean, I don't have anything against them. I know a lot of people use it, and they seem to find it helpful, especially with communicating, centralizing communication with the homeowner and their crew. So when there's change orders and shit like that, they find it helpful.
Did you ever hear of Live Switch?
No.
So we just found out about this company that integrates right with Service Titan, and right from your iPhone, you can FaceTime in, records the whole thing right in that customer's lid. Yeah, and records the whole thing, whole conversation between the PM or the guy back in the office and the sales rep. I thought it was cool. I thought it was probably one of the better technologies I saw. Is it going to get off the ground? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know enough about the intricacies of company cam and the day-to-day operations and the value it serves to be
people seem to love it.
They do seem to love it.
People seem to love the company cam.
Well, it's an easy way for them to accomplish what they need to accomplish. And it's not terribly cost intensive. I think they got a good model and a decent product for what I know it for. So
to get back to your clients here, AI, how many are using AI to answer their phones, do you think?
To answer the phones, south of 20%.
How many are using AI to answer all their social media lids?
Probably sub 10%.
How many would you say are using AI to follow up with all their prospects? Meaning, I went out, I saw you, I'm going to automate us coming out on dispatch, automate once we leave the home, automate closing the deal, automate follow-up that you didn't close.
So the answer to probably all of these questions would be not as many that should, and it's not a matter of willingness, but you get a company, let's say they're doing $5 million, they're in a CRM, right? I think the only space that might be just as bad or worse than the marketing space as far as nefarious actors or people that don't know as much as they pretend to know is like the CRM optimization space, right? And we can hook this up and we could hook this up. We could hook this. It's going to be $60,000. And then it's a pile of shit.
Oh. Did I ever tell you my Salesforce story?
You alluded to it.
I mean, so we went and I had one SEO. I don't know if they're still on Salesforce or not, which I told you I'd go to, if I had a digital agency, I'd go right to SEM Rush. I told you that, yeah. But or I would look for something that's equivalent for a CRM. I would look for the service titan to the trades to the digital agency space. There has to be something out there, right? It'd be SEM Rush, whatever. So we're like, all right, we're going to grow this fucking agency. We're going to use Salesforce because we'll use Salesforce. Salesforce comes in, they meet with us, they pitch us. Don't hold me to this. I'm going to say it was a $200,000 investment pitch. We're like, all right, we're in. Fuck it, right to it. That was the out of the box that didn't do shit solution.
Yeah.
We had to make we met a very good company out of Chad's Ford. I think I told you, we paid them, I think at the time we were paying them $8,000 a month, whatever it was, just on a retainer because our bills are. So it went from being this investment to $100,000 a year investment over 10 years of us on it. We're fucking $1 million into Salesforce. And when I left at the time 2 years ago, it wasn't optimal. Like, it wasn't optimal. It still sucked. I mean, we got some things out of it.
Sure.
But it wasn't like this great. But you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And that's why, like, and people say, like, Lance, why are you service titan? I'm like, listen, guys, if I told you what service titan paid to sponsor my podcast, you would know it's not about that because that's all they sponsor, right? Like that in the conference. I don't take money from service titan. Like, I don't take referral. If I send someone to your agency, I refuse to take a referral fee from you.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I don't send anyone anywhere if I don't believe it's going to work.
Right.
Like, I have enough money. What I don't need is your 10, 20% of someone's monthly spend to have someone having garbage, right? I want to give the best person. You are right. The CRM space is very, very crazy. And that's why I'm so pro service titan. Like right now, I just bought a popcorn company. You'll laugh at this, right?
Let's get it popping.
Let's get it popping. I love it, right? And we're looking, and Fran, what did we go with? Shopify? We went with Shopify. Because we did our research, we're looking at everything, we're like, Shopify is our best one-stop shop for what we need to be able to make the payments, have a website, technology. That's what you have to look for because you're on what, Zoho right now?
Yeah.
How's that experience been?
Frustrating.
But you're the common. That's the common story for most people.
Well, that's the problem. If you have a Salesforce, a Zoho, a HubSpot, they're so incredibly robust and the possibilities are endless. But again, to get a technician in there that actually knows what they're doing, it's expensive and it's super time consuming, right? So like the first team that we hired, they seemed okay and we didn't give them enough attention in order to move shit along, right? So maybe it was probably a little bit both of us. The second one just sucked. They were just ass. This third company, we've been making huge strides. And all the meanwhile, Dan and my company, he's done a lot of the stuff that we need done. So what's left over are a lot of the wants, right? And you could argue, are they wants or needs? Because I'll say they're wants because they're not inherently critical to the operations of the business. But why I'd also argue that they are needs is efficiency, reducing friction, and what that does, maybe in an inquantifiable or quantifiable way for people's job, how much they like doing it, what they're able to accomplish, the sense of productivity. Right? So I digress.
No, listen, man. Let's get into, what do you see? You represent a lot of different roofing companies.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's hard to get them to show up to a 30-minute call about their digital marketing. And I'm assuming 90% when they do show up, they're complaining because that's when you get their attention, when they feel like business ain't going right. Like, do you feel like, and I'm going to shoot you straight, because my biggest thing when I owned the agency was, numbnuts. Like, let's just call it what it is.
Right.
You don't answer your phone right. You don't know any of your metrics. You're not doing basic business 101 shit, but yet you're having a down month and I'm your easiest target to blame. But your leads are up 50%, but people aren't answering the phones. Do you find that happens, or you're like, come on, man, pay attention to your business and this shit all goes away?
I'll say this. I'll say that the majority of our clients do have a better understanding than a lot of people that I talk to, as far as like their numbers, as far as like actually trying to implement processes and things like that. And I think it has part to do with how we curate our clients as far as our lead intake. So a lot of people are like, you want me to pay you $1,500 before you even tell me what anything costs? Like, why the fuck would I do that? I'm like, then don't, right? Like
I do like that model, paying me to consult. I do like, you know if they're serious or not.
Yeah, so it's going to...
I'm assuming you give them the reports, they can take whatever they want with them, right?
Anything that they want, I can give them, right? And also, if at the end of that call you decide to move forward with us, which most people do, like I'll credit towards whatever you buy. Yeah. It's just a way for me to protect my time. Yeah. Because there was one customer, prospective customer, like 3 years ago, I spent like 3.5 hours with this dude. We had just such a good conversation. He had a lot of issues that needed to be worked out. And I had envisioned the roadmap to getting him to where he wanted to be. And in my mind had articulated it perfect. Overcame every objection. He's like, I'm just going to think about it. And we went through that 3 or 4 times. He's like, I'm just not doing anything. I'm going to think about it and I'll get back to you. And that's when the consultation was born. I was like, this will never fucking happen. It's just not going to happen. I don't have the time for it.
3 hours of your time. Listen, I remember calls like that and it sucks. I mean, I stopped. I'm assuming you still do the bulk of your sales now?
Yeah.
Change that immediately. Like you got to hire a sales guy or two. I know you're probably not doing on it.
Once we get Zoho situated, we're going to...
Once you get Zoho situated.
We're working on it.
Don't be back here in a year without Zoho working.
No, we'll figure it out.
Have you started looking at alternatives in case you can't?
Yes. Half-heartedly.
What are you looking at?
Census Conversation, SEMrush. That's a Dan thing. He's got a list that we went over probably 2 months ago, and that's his wheelhouse.
Is Raven still around?
I haven't even heard of it.
It's a pretty good tool. Hey, Google Raven real fast for me. I want to see.
Yeah, show us what comes up when you Google Raven. I'm interested.
Raven marketing tool is actually a pretty good tool. Raven marketing. Raven marketing tools. It was actually Raven marketing. I forget the name here, but they had like PPC tools, a bunch of tools that were pretty cool that you could have white label.
Yeah. RavenTools.com. So back to your question and point, it's like, because of that process, because of the time that we put shining a light on all the issues that we see happen with contractors throughout the years, how they can make the same omelet breaking less eggs, the things that kind of roll up into that recipe. Yeah. I feel like they have a heightened sense of awareness and trust in us. So we don't get as many of those super confrontational feeling calls with customers. Like typically it's like, hey, I'm not going to make the meeting. Can we schedule for next week? It's like, okay. But we don't, when I worked at my old company, 95% of the calls I got on, it was that. It's like, you only hear about it when it's bad. It's this, it's that.
Well, because the bigger you are, first of all, I got to assume you're doing a lot of communication with your clients still, right?
Well, myself or my team.
Yeah, but you speak well, you articulate yourself well. You're probably very good at building relationships where if you don't let it get that far. You treat it like, man, I'm going to nip it in the bud. If someone's upset, I'm going to fix it right away. Most people and most employees, as you know, as you grow, let the shit fester. They don't respond. It was funny. And probably 7-8 years ago, someone called me up and said, I emailed them multiple times and didn't respond. Oh, there's no fucking way that this guy emails you multiple ways. There's no fucking way. So I'm ready to call a customer line, right? So the nice part about Google, why I love Gmail so much, I just said to Scott McCasey, my partner at the time, I said, Scott, do me a favor. Log in, pull this email up from this email, and tell me how many 6 times. 6 times.
There's just no excuse for it.
So I walk over for a whole week, 6 times, right? I walk over. This guy's playing fucking pool in my office. Doesn't he? So I said,
like on a real pool table?
On a real pool table. Like a real pool table. Hey,
he's got his cue behind his fucking back.
Yeah, you thought this guy was Tom Cruise in that movie where he was playing like Color of Money, right? And I'm ready to take the pool stick and crack it over his head. Like, I'm thinking about, I'm visualizing, right? The 20-year-old Lance Bachmann would do, right? I walk over and I say, excuse me. I go, do you know this customer? He said, yeah. I said, have you heard from him? He goes, no. I said, well, in your email, you had 6 emails to you that you didn't respond to in the last 8 days. Is there a reason why? He's like, oh, yeah, I just didn't get to it. I was going to get to it today.
Oh, okay.
6 fucking emails. What do you mean? Like, but you'll see that's contagious in a lot of, and that's why 95% of the calls at your other agency. So what we did is, what do we use? Terramind, you, Lisa? So even still to today, do you know what Terramind is?
Oh, yeah.
So we have Terramind on every computer, and we know if you're working. And people are like, that's Big Brother watching. Okay, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, you don't give a shit.
No.
I'm paying you. I don't give. And people are like, well, I don't feel that's right. Well, you don't feel to be here then.
No.
Like, we have Terramind on every computer. What, Lisa? They know. People know.
We all know.
Do you use any tracking devices?
We're in the process of considering.
You have to.
Yeah.
First of all, just for compliance reasons, one of your employees does something stupid and they go onto a porn site in child porn on your browser, on your work computer. Do you think you're liable?
God, I hope I never have to find out.
Well, you're going to find out as you grow because people do dumb shit.
Yeah.
So really, all we're doing is we have alerts set up for everything, correct, Julie? So we can see where they're going, what browsers, everything, right? So we know. We know when people, listen, these people, and I think it's comical, we know when they're on job sites looking for jobs because and you'll see they're looking for other jobs. We're like, hey, are you looking for a job? They're like, no. Where you spent 6 hours yesterday looking for a job, my friend. And they're like,
how do you handle that when somebody has like a Mac and they've got their messages linked up to that, and now you're like, if something pops up like a person,
it's a work computer.
Yeah.
Why are you having your personal stuff on our work computer?
Yeah.
Right?
Makes sense.
I mean, everything's work. We don't let people work from their personal devices.
Yeah.
So everything is work issued. So I don't run into that.
Makes sense.
I mean, it's just, I don't, and my thing is this is you probably shouldn't be having your but Mac does give some problems here and there, right? Not like PCs, correct, Jolisa?
But I'm sure Terramind accounts for variance, right? Like no activity but logged in.
Oh, it's all idle. You see everything. It's great. So let's get back to marketing. Do you love marketing? Do you like marketing? What do you love about it?
Everything. I get to help people make money. I've helped companies go from sub $1 million to 15, 20 million. And it's one thing to say it, but then to feel it, right? And watch them hire 20, 30, 40 people and think about how many people you're impacting. And when on the heels of that, the first conversation you had with them, if you go to the Ascend Digital Agency Facebook page, there's one of our clients in Tulsa. So I hard closed him a long time ago. He's like, I just got to think about it. I'm like, I can't in good conscience let you off this call unless you give me a really good fucking reason. I'm like, because everything you've told me, you told me this makes sense every step of the way. You know you have issues. We've fucking ripped those issues open and we've diagnosed how we're going to fix them. So I'm all ears. Otherwise, I need a contract. So he signed the contract. Austin Fricker.
Austin, shout out to Austin.
My guy. So he sends me a message. This was a year ago. He's like, remember this message? And it was like, really hope this marketing works. I just bought my wife a new truck, et cetera, right? So it's pinned to the Ascend Digital Facebook page. And we fucking laugh about it all the time now. He came out to Buffalo. I was like, remember that one time when you didn't trust me? He's like, I trusted you. I'm like, kind of. I'm like, but also you had some concern. He's like, because I just got burned. I was like, I know, it's a water under the bridge. It's all good.
And that's the hardest part about your job as a digital marketer and the agency is everyone that shows up to your door is a scorned girlfriend for the most part. Because most people don't hire a digital agency with a new business.
Funny you say that because that's what I tell them. I'm like, let me tell you the story about Val. I thought I loved Val. It was 7th grade. She was my first kiss. I bought her the Mariah Carey CD. I'm like, do you know how much?
Not Mariah Carey.
The greatest hits. Do you know how much trouble was in my house because of that? My sister fucking fought me. She's like, you're giving that bitch a CD. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it didn't work out. And she broke my heart. That's terrible. I'm like, what? If I carry that into my next relationship and the next one, I'm like, I'd never had a chance at love or happiness. I'm like, you can't be scorned for the rest of your life.
Aren't you recently divorced?
Yeah.
So you're still on that.
I still got a chance though, and I'm not gonna carry that into.
God, Jake.
And I'm not gonna carry that into my next relationship, right? Like you live, you learn, you fix what you can if it's on your side. You look for things on the other side, or exclude things.
No, I'm with you. It's because I remember when I was doing those sales calls, when I was selling. I haven't been on a sales call in 10 years, which I try to get back on one. Is everyone was scoring.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, man, I use the same exact analogy. Like, you've been scoring dating. Did you stop dating?
Yeah.
And you got to market for your business. Like, like common sense is you have to market. Once you get past that hurdle, which I do believe is the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
What's the next biggest hurdle of getting people to buy in? Because you're not showing them every single lead that comes to them. You just don't have time, right?
I'm not hand-holding, but we have a centralized platform where they can sort by search, like organic, shit like that.
But listen, I built one of the first apps in the space, and you could probably go find it online somewhere still. It was the one I saw, digital agency app, and it gave you all your reporting, everything. I mean, everything. And it was costing me, I don't know, don't hold me up on this, but it was costing me, I'm going to say, 10, 15, 20,000 a month to upkeep this app. And I don't even know it was that much, whatever. And then one day, I
realized 3% login rates.
It wasn't even that.
Really?
We had one person logging in every month. No one else logged in. No matter how much we pushed it out, no matter how much we trained, people don't go pull their reports.
Yeah.
And we had one guy doing it. And he was like, I'm going to fire you if you kill the app. I'm like, fucking fire me. Like, you don't even pay me half of what the fee is a month that I'm maintaining this thing. Why do you think people aren't looking at reports? Why do you think people aren't looking at this stuff?
What you want and versus what you say you want are two different things, right? Everybody wants this. Like, I want this, I want this, I want this. I want this type of woman. I want this type of marketing agency. But what you really want is you want somebody that you can trust and you don't have to do those things. But the minute that things go from raining leads and closing deals, like let's say election time, right? Nationally, markets compress. Nobody's excited about fucking spending money when there's that much uncertainty around, like, who's going to be in office? What policies are they going to pass? Like, what is my 401k going to look like in 6 weeks, right? So, yeah, they might not want to drop 30 bands on a roof. Sorry, dude. Like, but when you come to you and look at it, it's like, okay, leads are down, cost per click is up. All these different indicators are not great. It's like, okay, so talk to your supply house. What are they saying about other people and what they're ordering? Like, how many jobs are they fulfilling? Everyone's slow right now. It's like, okay, everybody's slow. I would say the biggest challenge is, like, in my email signature, I know that you're not huge on your email, but it says at the end, more than a marketing agency. So I make it a priority that everyone on my team, outside of what you're paying us for, we can give you contextual advice to help with other parts that are adjacent to marketing that are being impacted, like who to hire to answer a phone, what they should be saying, doing things like instant booking, like that can help facilitate, which seems primitive,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like 90+% of people don't have an instant booking list.
Oh, 100%.
So, but back to your point.
90% of the people don't have people answering the phone.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. But
that's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great. You want more people answering the phone. But it goes back to what you said about perceived value and associated costs, right? Like, if you did your winner circle for free or for $1,000, sure, some people might show up. It's probably a lot less than how many people RSVP, because the pain of not doing it, either they don't understand it or they don't feel it enough, right? So if I have my team, we've got 50 clients and we spend 2 hours a month talking to each one of them, 100 hours of working hours, human capital, investing and talking about things that aren't necessarily related to what we do, but just for the purpose of making your business better, making our results from marketing better, there's no associated cost to that, right? Their cost in their mind is like, I'm doing this, this, and this. This is what I'm paying a cent for. So these conversations a lot of time die on the table. Not all the time. And I'd say our clients are probably a lot better than most, but even if it's only 30% of the time they die on the table, that's a lot of human capital that's being expanded. And like, we give a fuck. We want you to do these things because it will help your business.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to. Here's a funny story about the masterminds. And it was funny because Gonano was just here from Canada. That's the guys right there. And some of their people came to our masterminds and they're actually coming back to the conference. and they were saying people love the masterminds. And my first mastermind was free. I don't know if you know this. My whole thing is I love giving back. Tommy Mello, so many people have helped me get to where I am.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to give back. So that's why I do the shop tour. And I was like, we're going to do a mastermind once a quarter for 20 people. And Bill's like, there's no way we're doing this or whatever. I said, Bill, we don't need money. We're good. We have money. We have no debt. None of my companies. We're all growing. I'm good. I'm like, we're going to do this. We're going to do something different. We're going to do this for free. We gave 20 tickets away for free for my first mastermind. 2 full days. Guess how many people showed up at the 20?
How many?
Two. Bill's cursing me up and down. Kelly's like, this is bullshit. Jolene's like, this is a waste of time.
Yeah.
Bill said, we're going to charge $5,000 a person. I said, I don't give a shit, Bill. I said, I want to do this. This is something I want to do. We sell only 20 tickets or 25, right, Jacob? About 25 on average we sell it. And then we cap it. We close. Like July sold out already. We've never not sold out. It's always been sold out. Guess how many people miss a mastermind now?
Zero.
Because
it hurts.
Zero.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Zero. And they're coming back over and over again, and they're staying in touch with us, and they're doing the things, and they're growing. So when I started the winner's circle, right? Bill's like, Matt Freeman, you here? So Matt, the guy out there, the good-looking blonde-haired kid's like, Lance, you got a coaching group. Everyone's asking for it. I was like, I'm not going to do a coaching group. I'm like, all these things are bullshit. If I do a coaching group, it's going to be small. And he's like, well, you can charge, what do you say, like $25,000 a year or something? I said, fuck that. I was like, $25,000 a year is nothing to a business owner. I said, we're going to charge $100,000 if I do it. We had it sold out in 3 days. 3 days without me ever going public with it. 3 days, $100,000. Matt, you're the one that came up with the winner's circle idea of the coaching group. I was just saying to my friend of him, Michael, we had it sold out in 3 days, $100,000, but I would have done it for free, yes or no?
Yes, you would have. You tried to.
And Bill's like, no way.
Yeah.
But that's like you said, people don't understand but when they're paying you, they'll actually do it and execute. If they're not paying you, like you said, they'll just fall away to the wayside. It's disgusting.
There's so many contractors in that same vein that they're like, okay, I'm a $1 million company or I'm a $2 million company. My budget's $20,000 and I spend it with fill in the blank digital agency. And they have my website, they do my SEO, they do my Facebook, we got Google ads. Doesn't matter what's happening or not happening. They stay there because the $2,000, it's like they look at it as like a light bill. It's a utility. I have everything I need. They're doing everything. So it doesn't matter how well or not it's working because they're not spending $20,000. So that's on the other side of it, right? It's like it's so little, they don't care enough because the pain of what it's not doing, they don't understand the opportunity cost of staying there and go somewhere else, right? And they don't understand the potential benefits. So it's like, all right, this is fine. I got my website. I got everything.
I call it the gym membership fee.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a gym membership fee. You never lose weight. You never get in shape.
Yeah.
But you pay it just to make yourself
feel good knowing that box is checked. You go to Planet Fitness, you have your pizza party.
But that's really it. I call it the gym membership. But that's the problem. But this is the thing. I believe 99% of agencies out there would be fired on the spot if people just said, give me my login and just go look at their change history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just go look at the fucking change. I'm not talking about what people do to automate the change history by big negative keywords, things like I'm talking about truly go in and look at the change history of timestamp, date, time, social media, and Google AdWords and say, go look at what new ads they created, go look and see what's converted, go see what territories they changed out. Take a spin. And these people would be like, what?
Yeah.
I've always, they'd be like that guy, what's it, Rocky Road from Goonies? You ever seen the movie? Yeah. Slow. And they'd be like, because I think they'd be like, oh my God, like, Jesus Christ, what happened to me? You know what I mean, Jacob? Like, because I look at it like, cause we work with agencies and they know I go in and inspect what I inspect. So I know they're in my shit and I get results.
Right.
That's how my companies, but most people, how many people do you think are really logging in to their search console?
Probably, I would say sub 3%.
I'd be less than that probably for most people. Yeah. And it really isn't that hard.
You don't know what you don't know, right? If I ask, like, because we ask when we build a website, we're doing ask you, like, do you have a Search Console account? Do you have, like, what's Search Console? The company that sold you, whatever they sold you, and the reason why you're in the position you are today, probably didn't want you to know about Search Console or what the functional utility of it is, right? Because if they train you on what Search Console is and they see that nothing's improving, you're going to fire them.
I tried to when I owned the agency when I was small. I tried to educate everyone because I believe education is power.
Yeah.
And if I can educate you, you're probably going to stay with me.
Yeah.
Because you have nothing to hide. Right. That's why when everyone comes to partner with me, a guy said to me today, why would you give me your SOP for free? I said, why wouldn't I? Like, I did all the hard work. We had the SOPs. You said you need SOPs. I'll hand them to you. Just alter them to what you need. And he's like, but why would you just give them to me for free? I said, dude, you don't know where the future takes us. Right? I said, you might come to a mastermind. You might come to my coaching group. You might want to be my partner one day. I might need something down in fucking Alabama one day. Like, that's where he's at. And he's like, you're just going to send me the SOPs. I put him on a group text with Matt. I said, send him our SOPs. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I do have that abundance mindset. And that's where I think most people mess up is if you do educate, show people, and give them, like, think about this. You reached out to me. You said, hey, I need like to work out in the morning. I'll stop by and swing by. I said 7 o'clock. When you were here at 7 o'clock, I opened my door. Were you ready to go?
Yeah. We were a little late, though. I was a little late. And
You showed up at 7:01.
I was late. I plan on being with this motherfucker at like 7:52.
6:52.
6:52. But what had happened was Google or Apple Maps sucks, and it took me like 0.8 of a mile away and said that I was at the location. I put in the Google Maps after I hit you up on Facebook and you didn't respond. And
because my phone's on silent. Most people don't like people don't keep their phones on.
Sitting here on a country road in like suburban Philadelphia. I'm like, well, fuck. I'm like, I have no idea where this house is. It says it's right here, but it's a pile of dirt. Put in the Google Maps and it's like, yeah, you're 0.8 miles away. So I was like, oh, fuck. All right. So now I'm sprinting up hills trying to make it here on time. It was a minute or two late, and I'm sorry for that.
Here's a question for you. You know my buddy Dan Antonelli, right?
Yeah.
Right from Kick Charge. Yeah. He's always screaming brand. And then he went and bought a digital agency.
Oh.
Did you know that?
No.
Okay. He went and bought a digital agency. And I love Dan because he's one of my good friends. Do you believe brand goes with digital hand in hand?
Fucking 1,000%.
That's what I believe.
1,000,000%.
And Dan, and what's funny is I love Dan. Dan's the man. He's a good friend of mine. But I started laughing. I told Dan, I tried buying Dan. I don't know if I told you that like years ago, and it just never worked out. Now he's with Tommy. And he bought a digital agency, and I just started busting out laughing. I'm like, of course you did, because brand goes with digital.
Yeah.
They go fucking hand in hand.
Yeah, and like the impact of brand is just undeniable. Like if you have a company, think about the consumer behavior. People throw, flaming piles of shit at like traditional media, like billboards, right? And they're like, fucking billboards, you can't quantify anything. It's like, it's not the fucking purpose. If you're spending $30,000 a year on billboards at a high traffic area, make sure like it's high traffic and visible all year round. I'll make sure
and a good billboards.
If it's behind a tree and it's bare when you buy it, there's going to be leaves on that tree at some point. So make sure.
And it just has your logo and it says Thompson Roofing. Yeah, it's probably not going to stand the fuck out.
So, the idea is like, okay, so we got 3,000 people that drive past this every fucking day. Then at every job site, you've got the same brand on a yard sign, and then you have a nice truck wrap, and then you have a website with the same brand identity, right? And it's cohesive, it's consistent all throughout. You get those situations, and you're shooting content with your logo on your shirt, right? Like you create the grocery store effect where like, I fucking see you everywhere. Every time you go to the grocery store, I was like, I see your company everywhere, right? Now, if they might not need a roof now. They might not need one next year. Maybe it's 3 years from now. But if you consistently do those things, now they do a search, and it's like,
I'm that brand.
I know them. I'm going to call them. Your cost per acquired lead will drop significantly. Your cost per acquired job will, if you have a strong brand.
So when we partnered with Planet Roof, did you know I partnered with them?
Yeah.
So we partnered with Planet Roof. They did $2 million last year in business, all insurance work, right? And, Travis and Adam are great guys. And then we said, okay, let's go bring Nate Lincoln, if you know who he is, from Link Roofing. So it's probably about a $3.5 million business. We're going to do $3 million this month, our 6th month, and all retail. 6 months in. We literally said, okay, $3 million is great this month that we're going to hit. We're going to hit very close.
Did Dan do their brand?
Yes. We rebranded. Well, Travis and Adam built Planet Roof's brand themselves, believe it or not.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Adam was smoking weed. He's clean and sober, but I'm just being sarcastic here. No offense, Adam. I don't know if he was smoking weed when he came out with that idea, but it's actually a pretty catchy brand, right?
Yeah. I like it.
So I think a lot of people. So we had Dan just clean it up. It wasn't all the way there, and Dan did a very nice job of cleaning it up. We just took billboards out, and someone said, "Why would you take billboards out if you're going to do $3 million already in your 6 months in business with these guys? Partner with them. They were even a $3 million company last year." I'm like, "That's not the point." I'm like, "We're going to build such brand awareness in that Pittsburgh market." That Planet Roof is just what you think about when you need a roof. And then when you come to the digital space and you see Planet Roof, I know that brand.
Yeah.
I don't need you to say, I saw your billboard and call me.
Right.
So, and this is the power of branding. I don't know if you know this. When One SEO, I owned it. I had billboards up and down 95 here. And I was on the billboards where my arms crossed like this. Yeah, I was about your age. I was Bachmann, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't built as good as you. I was a little chubbier, but I put myself up on billboards, and I said I'm going to separate myself from everyone else. And we put tracking on there. We put a phone number on there. We would ask every single person that had heard of us. Nobody said billboard. No one. Gets better though. But after about 5 years of keeping those billboards up, everyone I walked into the room to was, "You're the guy on the billboards, instant trust, sign. I was the expert." All Philadelphia. The first thing I would do when I go back into the space is I'd take billboards up and down on the spot. And it would say, "Daddy's back." Exactly what it would say, "Daddy's back." And I would take the old picture of me on that billboard and put the new picture of me on it side by side.
The old one.
No, I'd put them side by side.
Oh, side by side.
And say, "Daddy's back," because it's been 17, 20 years. So I'd show that young guy,
Yeah.
and I'd show the old man, right? And then say, "Daddy's back." Like, no other words needed.
That's fucking
Huh?
awesome. Yeah, You're cooked.
Huh?
You're cooked.
Would that catch your attention?
It'd be funny.
You know what I mean?
You'd remember it.
But that's the point of
Right.
when you build a brand, you do everything the right way. And you're nothing but an extension of a brand building if it's done the correct way.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people really call people from their Facebook ads, would you say? I mean, I know you get leads, but how
I fucking hate Facebook ads.
I-
Unless they're used for branding.
you know, it's used for branding. I'm a big
Like lead
believer.
gen Facebook ads. If there's a storm, something like that, like some sort of weather event, you do a little bit better. Otherwise, it's a bunch of fucking tail chasing for the most part.
It's a bunch of tail chasing and it's a bunch of spam.
Yeah.
And people are,
Well, that's the thing. You get your sales rep 100 leads. I got you 100 leads. I'm like, dude, fucking, I called through every one of these 100 leads, hopefully. And we got 13 contacts and 4 appointments.
do you know Bradley?
Yeah.
So I'm friends with Bradley, right? I was just out here. When was I out with Brad? Probably about a month ago. Because we're supposed to shoot a podcast, me and Brad, right? I'm friends with him, right? The first time I walked in, I said, "How you doing?" I just saw like disgust in his face, like this fucking marketing, this thing. Spent 2 hours going through his marketing, right? So the girl said to him that runs his PPC, "I got him, don't give me, I'm what's that called? Paraphrasing, whatever. I got him 45 leads, Lance, in the last 3 weeks. Yeah, but his sales guy couldn't get a hold of one of them.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like they're running PMAX ads.
So we're going to optimize the budget, she said, and we're going to make it about, if you optimize it and you spend more, you're going to get him 80 leads that he doesn't get in touch with. And she's like, "Well, you're starting yet?" And she kept talking like a fucking digital marketer. And I was like, I'm not in the space, so I have no dog in this fight. Like, we're not fighting. This ain't an account I'm trying to steal from you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help my friend out here. And she got her panties on a bunch, which I get it. She's trying to protect her money, protect her account, which I get. But she kept talking as a digital marketer instead of saying, but my response would have been like, "Hey, Brad, listen, I understand I got you 48." Because next thing I knew, I went to the salesperson. I sat with the salesperson, and we're just going right through his CRM, and we're trying to contact him or talking to him. All these leads that they're getting from Facebook and from Google AdWords, and he's spending a significant amount of money. I'm talking about $100,000 a month plus. No, nothing.
I'm going to come to Ascend. Brad, if you're out there.
Well, I'll put it on a group text one. But the point being is this is
Joking.
she kept talking as a digital marketer.
Yeah.
And not as a business person.
Right.
Where my thing would have been like, "Brad, I'll come out there in the next month. I'll spend a day there. We'll walk through everything.
Let's figure it out.
And figure it out. Because what we're doing is not working.
And it's not always going to be fantastic. Like, and I tell people that, like, we hedge against that shit in the beginning of the process. Like, I'd rather lose 10 potential customers than to have one that feels like they bought under false pretenses, right? I'm like, don't expect anything as far as results from SEO for at least a year. If you're going to judge us in the first 2 months in PPC, don't buy with us or anybody else. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And a lot of times it's better. Sometimes it's not, right? And sometimes you have 6 great months and there's a month where it takes a shit. But like, you got to own that. You can't be dressing up bullshit and being like, yeah, we got this. So the reason we started doing weekly meetings with clients, like 6 months ago, maybe, scheduling weekly meetings with the intention of,
we'll make 1 out of 4.
Well, I had a client who left us and he wanted to come back. He's like, one thing that I want to make sure of is that you guys aren't counting leads that are under X amount of time, 45 seconds as a conversion. And I said, here's the problem with that. That's fair unless you don't answer the phone. I'm like, so if it rings 5 times, they hang up and they're looking for roof replacement in this area, why would it be held against me? I said, this is the entire reason why we have weekly meetings with you so that we can say, hey, look, it's showing you got 57 leads. Let's go through these, right? How many of these 13-second calls were bullshit? Okay, 9 out of 10 of those were bullshit. How many of these 30-second calls were actually calls for customers and not bullshit? Oh, they were all actually people looking for your service. You just didn't pick up the phone. And then we could parse it out to have like a true adjusted cost per lead. Because I don't want people to think that we're trying to dress up bullshit as leads, but at the same time, I don't want to lose credit if you don't have your processes dialed in to facilitate somebody who fucking needs you to get in touch with you.
So I hear people scream, you got to know your cost per lead, you got to. Do you think I'm a pretty sharp guy in his marketing?
What's that?
Do you think I'm a pretty sharp guy in his marketing? Yeah. People scream cost per lead. Do you think I give a shit about cost per lead?
Probably not. Probably more so cost per job.
I look at cost per channel. What's my ROI per channel?
Sure.
And that's when people say to me, Angie's doesn't work, Home Advisors doesn't work. I laugh. I'm like, yeah, it don't work. It don't work. Don't do it. Every market I go into, first thing I do is Angie's, Home Advisors, networks, because it works. I have the data that shows me I'm making money.
If you can see what you spent and what you made per channel and then parse that out by sales rep, now you're fucking cooking, because it's like, all right.
And guess what does that?
Lance,
guess what does that? Guess what does that?
Lance, your greatest son.
Miss Titan. Not all superheroes wear red kit.
So let me ask you this. So obviously, big fan of Service Titan.
Because of the metrics.
What's one thing that they need to improve?
Their onboarding, but everyone knows that. That's like saying, like, what's the heavy set guy or girl have to do? Put the fucking fork down, right? My personal trainer
I eat my pizza with my hands. So I feel personally attacked.
That's your generation. I don't give a shit. Listen, like, put the fork down. Like my trainer Tony, literally, I'm gonna break your jaw. Put the fork down, Lance. Okay, I get it. Like, put the fork down. They know they got an onboarding problem. They're trying to address it. They're trying to fix it. But from a pure technology compared to what's out there, they're the Lamborghini, they're the Ferrari, and everyone else is driving a fucking Pinto. And that's not a shot, because I think there's a place for House Call Pro. I think there's a place for Job Nimbus, depending on what size you are and what you're willing to put into it. But if you want to grow your business to 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million, and you want it all automated and you're willing to understand technology, I don't think there's a better place. That's just me.
What's it cost for like a 10-person company to operate on Service Titan?
I can't even tell you, because I pay a percentage of sales because I'm in the roofing space, so I don't pay in the HVAC model I was in. It was per tech, so I can't even tell you, honestly. But I don't have a problem. Listen, there's a few checks in my life I don't mind cutting. I never mind cutting a check. No, I hate cutting my attorney's checks. I do hate cutting my attorney's checks. Huh?
Accountant?
I hate cutting that. My kids' tuition at Germantown Academy. My kids' that's a check I've never questioned. I believe my ROI from those people have been tenfold. They work with my children. They love my children. I don't agree with everything they do, like you're never going to do, but
that's okay.
I never worry about that check. My Service Titan check, I never, ever, ever. And my leadership team. Whenever I've cut in my leadership team a check, I've never questioned it.
Yeah.
Ever. Because they put so much in. I get more out of them than I could ever give. But like, literally, I mean, I can't say that about all my digital agencies I've worked with. I can't say that about my accountants. My accountants, and no, I question that check all the fucking time, to be honest with you, especially when I'm going through due diligence. They've gotten less and less on what they give. Yeah. You know what I mean? But their bills are going up and up. My attorneys, less and less and less, but their bills are going up and up.
Yeah.
So no,
So you don't love writing checks to attorneys and accountants?
no, I don't think any business person does. What's funny is this though, is everyone says they're necessary evils, but I'm starting to question, are they? Because half the work they do is so shitty anyway.
You're not wrong. My experience with attorneys is dog shit. I mean, communication, right? Fucking just nowhere to be seen. Don't respond to text, emails. It's like, bruh, you have one job and it's not done. So the least you could do is fucking answer an email and be like, hey, we're here with this. Don't worry, Mr.
And they bill you by the hour.
Yeah.
So you figure they
round up. If they do respond, it's fucking $100. It was a 30-second email, but it rounds up to 15 minutes.
15 minutes. So the funny part about that is true story is I fired my attorney. It's been with me for 10 years, right? And this guy's good. He's a great litigator, great. And I'm going through, obviously it's public record. I'm still want to see for my earnout, right? They didn't want to show me financials. You can't tell someone you're not giving them money and not show financials, right? Like, all I want to do, hey, show me the financials. They gave me a page of paper like this that he put together himself and just said, we're not paying it. So I said to my attorney, I said, listen, dude, like I'm bringing this litigator in from Fox Rothschild because I'm not dealing with this. And well, this is how it really happened. I was saying, listen, any response, we're going to have to sue him. He's like, let's see if we can get a deal done with that. I'm like, listen, I want to see the financials. And my attorney's a nice guy. He went cold on me for like 2 days. So I said, listen, if you're so busy, I'll just bring some. And he made the ultimate mistake. He said, I love you, Lance, but if you want to bring someone else in, feel free. Arrogant. Right away. Email sent to them, sent to everyone. I'm hiring Colin Dougherty, Fox Rothschild, litigator, partner. We'll be taking over this case immediately. Now, that attorney that I fired is still a good friend of mine, and he's still working on other stuff of mine. But he immediately snapped back to, here's a client that...
What's an acceptable time frame for him to get back to you?
I expect 24 hours. I expect same day. But for the amount of money, I spend over $1 million a year with my law firms. If I'm giving you $1 million and I can show you the fucking bills,
yeah,
I expect you to respond.
I guess that's fair.
Huh?
I guess that's fair.
I mean, it's real.
$1 million is a lot of money.
Listen, I got a guy that gave me the best advice ever. His name's Brian Boss. Shout out to you, right? And here's what he said to me. This is a guy that sells insurance. He doesn't even own the fucking insurance agent. This is a guy that sells insurance in Northampton, PA football. He coaches my son in football. Great football coach. Great guy, right? We're just talking. And he said to me, dead serious. It was a Saturday. And he's taking a call. And is one of his clients. I said, man, you take calls on Saturday. He goes, Lance, my best ability is my availability. It's the only thing I bring to the table. And when you forget that,
goddamn.
When you forget, look at your reaction to that. When you forget that as a human being, you're fucked. And that's what happens. These guys get complacent, lawyers, accountants, because what's the 3 things that are the hardest things to change?
I don't know.
I'm going to tell you right now. Your doctor, because they act and they give you this, they're holier than nails.
CRM?
No, well, that's your IT company's one. It is. But if you really think about it, the 3 hardest things in your life to change is your doctor, because doctors come holier than nails. You trust them. So where else would you go wait 2-3 hours just to be seen?
Yeah, that's fair.
Doctors, right? Number 2, your accountant, because nobody wants to fire their accountant because my accountant knows me, knows my business, understands my business. He sold you on, he's saving you in taxes, he's helping you out, all this bullshit.
Yeah.
But go look at the size of the average accountant's business. It's not normally that big. So they're terrible fucking businessmen. Number 3 is your lawyer. Everyone thinks they have this smart lawyer that's incredible. And most lawyers honestly went to some bullshit rinky-dink law school, and they're not that good. And only 1% of all cases go to trial. You know that, right?
It's small.
It's small. So you know it's going to settle anyway. But what is their job? Their job is to ring you for as much money as possible. They don't make any money by settling shit.
Yeah.
They don't make any money. Their job is to keep you on the hook and tell you this is what's it. Like, I just had my lawyer tell me something that most lawyers never tell you, where you stand. And my issue is with all these things, it's very hard for you to navigate business. And that's where now I made so many mistakes with lawyers, accountants, all these different people. I don't make the mistakes anymore. And yes, I do value my time very highly, Mike. Yeah. And I value other people's times. And no, I won't sit. Jolie, did I call you to come get my wife and kids today? I take my son to the doctor's. I was at CHOP today. I walked right out to the front desk. I said, I've been here for 50 minutes waiting. And she's like, what? I'm like, I'm not waiting another minute. You can get the doctor in that room now. My time is worth just as much as her time. My appointment was for 12:50. It's now 1:40. I got people waiting for me to run a business. I'm not CHOP, but let's be realistic here. It's my kid's ear. We're not reinventing the wheel. This ain't life-threatening. And my appointment, and the doctor came and was like, I'm so. I said, I'm not mad at you. I said, the system's designed for you guys to have no respect for anyone. Yeah. I say, what? I'm like, the system's designed for you guys to have no respect for anyone because you guys all have this God complex. So no one gives a shit. So they just accept it. I said, if this was something major, I would accept it. My son's getting a fucking stitch or two out of his ear today. I can bring him back tomorrow. And she just said, man, I'm really sorry. No one's ever put it in perspective to me that way. I said, I'm not being rude to you. I appreciate what you do, but I waited here for an hour for you to see my kid for less than 3 minutes. No. She apologized. I mean, it wasn't a bad conversation.
Sure.
But where would you wait for an hour for 3 minutes?
There's not many places.
That's the point. And people are afraid to say it.
Yeah, I've never had that problem of being afraid to say it. I remember I had my third employee and we took her out to lunch, walk into this restaurant, and the guy's, he mumbles something. It's a Thai restaurant. I didn't hear what the fuck he said, but he's standing near the host center and he starts walking towards the table. So I start following him. He's like, no. I was like, okay. Like super hostile. Oh, okay. So I go stand by the fucking podium like a good little boy. And he's like, yeah, I'm ready to see you. I said, okay, fantastic. Through the course of ordering drinks, him bringing the drinks and coming back with the appetizers, he's just got this fucking shit attitude. Like, you know, we're the only ones in the restaurant, by the way. This is lunchtime. Like, you should have a lunch rush here. Now I'm starting to understand why you don't. But they have great food. They're no longer in business. Weird. But I was like, you know, he came back and I'm like, you having a bad day? Say, what? So you're having a bad day. I'm like, you seem bothered. And I'm like, I'm genuinely concerned. And, you know, if you're having a bad day and you want to talk about it, we could talk about it. He's like, and then he immediately changed up. He's like, no, not at all. Yeah. And then he was great the rest of the time. But I could tell my employee was fucking mortified. Like because it's perceived as like confrontational. I'm like, I was like, sometimes you just got to talk to people, right? And it's not okay. Like if you're in the service industry, if I treated my fucking clients that way, we wouldn't have we wouldn't be here having an employee lunch. No, promise you. Right? So I'm like, the fact that I called him out, I wasn't a dick about it, but at the same time, he knew that I realized that he was being a dick and like, he should probably change his act.
You know, it's funny because people don't realize, and it goes back to that Brian Boss thing, your best ability is your availability and be nice. It costs you zero to be nice.
Nothing.
But I will tell you this, Jaleesa, what does that L in lunch stand for? So here, I says, I'm going to give you some advice. Do you want to get back 240 hours of time a year?
Sure.
And what's that worth to you, that 240?
They're worth a lot.
Worth 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Never walk out and take lunch again. The average lunch lasts for at least an hour.
I think it'd be 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay, so even better. That's 6 weeks back of productivity. So we have a rule here. No one takes lunch.
But there's assumptions baked into that.
No, there's no assumptions.
That's assuming I take lunch every day for an hour.
Well, most people do.
I don't.
You don't, but most people do.
Sure.
So we just said,
sorry guys, Lance said you're not allowed to have lunch anymore. Any Department of Labor issues, you gotta take it up.
No, it's just for me, it's not Department of Labor. It's just, hey, listen, you want to go grab lunch, or I can buy you lunch, bring it in here, and we can be productive, right?
Yeah.
But it's real simple. You go take days 5. Everyone complains there's not enough time in a day. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's about.
So now we're complaining about there's not enough time in a day. But yet and listen, let's be realistic.
You add 60 minutes.
Not even 60 minutes. Most people take lunch for about 90 minutes. By the time you drive to where hey, Bobby, Johnny, and Mike, we're going to fucking the taco. They got the best Mexican ever. Oh, yeah. Meet me there. Okay, so we all go drive to the Mexican place, the barbecue, whatever it is. That's a 10, 15-minute drive.
Sure.
Okay. Now, we got to get waited on. They're not rushing. I mean, we didn't just go to Wawa and grab burritos and come back. We had to go to the authentic Mexican spot. Now it's the best.
It's the best.
Now we're sitting around the water cooler talking shit about how bad our jobs are, our lives suck, yada, yada, yada. So it's just a negative environment for 60, 70% of employees, right?
Yeah.
Then I eat lunch. I feel like dog shit because I ate like shit. A lot of these people I didn't realize drink at lunch, which is fucking mind-blowing to me. People have a beer or two, which...
I used to drink at lunch.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, I never did that. That was never because, baby, I'd have went out on a bender. If I had a job, I can go on, baby.
Well, usually I had a light afternoon. I don't drink anymore. I stopped years ago, but when I did drink, and that's probably part of the reason I stopped.
Yeah, I mean, once I got one, it was fucking lights out, baby. I'm gone. So it's now... You go and you're back and you got to hit the whole reset thing and it takes you 15, 20 minutes. So now I'm 90 minutes in, but I just take 60. That's 6 hours, 6 weeks of productivity. It's giving you back a month and a half of true work you can do.
Sure.
And that's just for me. That's how I look at it. And that's where, I mean, Joelisa, who loved lunch, I'll never forget, it was her, and I'll tell you a funny story. It was like her second or third day here. She'd say, I'm going to go out to lunch. I'm excited. What do you recommend? Big personality. Yep. And I'm like, lunch? Yeah, Joelise, don't lie. You would see her personality, right?
Yeah.
Big like she was talking about, like, do we get sushi, Indian, Thai? She's going through the fucking smorgasbord. She's going through the smorgasbord of fucking Bristol. I didn't know Bristol had this many restaurants.
Yeah.
I said, Joelisa, I handed my credit card. I said, order Uber. Tell me if I'm lying, Joelisa. Did I not say order Uber Eats and bring it in? Yes or no? I said, I'll buy you lunch. Don't go anywhere.
So for us, at the time, we were working and...
I'm busting your balls. I know what I'm going to do. Build a relationship.
Yeah.
Listen, I used to do lunch.
There was 3 of us. And I'm like, we were in a garden level.
I'm busting balls.
Which is a basement. Like a...
I get the team building activities. Listen, in our new office, like we have a kitchen where we're at now. In our new office, we're building a kitchen and we're moving to one with a restaurant in it. It's literally 1 floor down from us. So if we do want to go grab lunch for a half hour, we can build as a team. Like, I bust jokes, but like it's, if you really think about what it is.
No, I mean, makes sense.
I mean, especially if you're trying to build a business where you have 2 children and I'm sure, do you coach your kids yet? Your youngest definitely isn't playing sports yet. Did you coach your other one at all?
No, she didn't. She dabbled in a couple things, but never really thought.
So if your youngest one starts playing sports, you're going to see it eats up so much time of free. So you're like, I got to work when I work. But let's get back to...
I got a question before we do it.
Okay, jump in.
So looking through the lens of what's my time worth? Where can I save time? Where does that start? Where does that stop? Because I do it all the fucking time. Like when I'm in the sauna, I'm thinking like, how much time did I spend here? How much time did I spend here? What can I change? What can I do differently? Be more efficient, get more time. Have you ever read Dan Martell by your...
Oh, yeah, buy back your time.
Yeah, buy back your time. It's like, at some point, though, you'll drive yourself fucking crazy, won't you?
No.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, you're at my farm now.
Yeah.
You see, I have a personal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 nannies that live here full-time. I have a full-time driver that drives. I don't have to do it. I used to have 2 full-time maintenance men on my property.
What things do you like to do that you spend time on that you could justify paying somebody else to do?
The only thing that I still pay for it is coaching my children. I still coach my children, but I pay other people to coach my children because I want my children to have other voices. I love being with my children coaching. I don't have to work anymore. My children will never have to work in their lifetime. I have generational wealth. I have no problem saying that because besides the moron that responded back with that stupid ass email, you got to be worth $1 million and 50,000 liquid, right?
Oh, yeah. I won.
Which just blew my mind. I enjoy working. I love working. I love the hustle. I love the winning. I just love it, right?
Yeah.
So But no, I believe in Dan Martell. I've never met Dan Martell, and I've recommended his book to everyone because get as many things off your plate as possible. Plus, I believe in so much buying back your time. We just booked a guy. I can get you his name. When's he coming in? The AI coach. When's he come in? Jaleesa, you in here? When is the AI coach coming in? Yeah, what dates? The 9th and 10th. So she went and found an AI coach. All he does is just coach on ChatGPT, AI, automation, everything. And I'm about I want to maximize my time. I want to spend, remember, you're 37 years old. You got a long road ahead of you. I'm 52. That time starts to shorten. There's 15 years is a big difference. I got 20 years left max, right? 25, right? Really, because once you hit 70, 67, I'm not saying it's negative. The only guys I know are Mr. Sherwood. I know like 5 guys in their 70s that are living a great life, still in good shape, enjoying life. Most people, when they hit 70, it's a different lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
So I know I got my 50s with my wife and my 60s with my wife to enjoy life and my children. I want to enjoy every moment with them as possible. So when I say one's enough, I'm obsessed with how much time can I be with my children first working. That's why you don't see me ever go out to clubs anymore. You don't see me doing that shit. If I go out, it's with my wife.
Yeah.
So my answer to your question directly, I'd be fucking obsessed if I was you. Obsessed on how do I scale my company, grow my company as fast as possible with the least amount of my time in it as possible. And buy back all my other time. Because you're like, I mean, think about it. I'm preaching what I do, right? I bought back I have a personal assistant. I have 2 people on my property full time. I have a personal driver that drives me everywhere. I mean, the driver drove my kids all weekend. I went out with my wife Saturday night, drove my kids to football, drove my kids to sales house to sleep. Makes sense? I didn't have to worry about that. I bought a Sprinter, right? It's a luxury Sprinter, custom office. I mean, I bought back my time.
It's good. You're glad you did.
I would recommend that to you. You're not you seem like you're leery on that part of life.
No, I think, there's just, because again, I always look through that lens and have that conversation with myself, right? But there are things that I get joy out of doing that I wouldn't want to pay somebody to do.
Like what?
Just recently learned I like skimming my pool. Now, it's the first time I skim my pool, so I probably won't love it like the 3rd or 4th time, right? But that was fun. That was definitely fun.
Because when you get to skim a pool, you made it.
I guess.
No, it's like if you think about it, like you're out back.
I could say the same thing about doing the landscaping there. I ain't fucking doing that.
I mean, landscaping a house with no pool probably doesn't mean you make it. You got a nice pool in your backyard, you're skimming it. It could be an above ground pool. You made it. You made it. I'm skimming the pool. I'm working on my tan, babe. I'm skimming the pool. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
What else do you enjoy?
What else do I enjoy in general?
Yeah. Well, you don't want to buy back the time. Would you have a driver if you could?
I thought about that. I don't know.
Would you have nannies if you could?
I would have a nanny. I've actually tried to get a nanny, and finding qualified help with somebody who you're trusting them with your children.
You got to find, and I truly believe this, you got to find an immigrant.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not saying it in a rude way. Find a Jamaican, find a Russian, find people that understand the assignment. I mean, the problem with America, and this is like fucked up, I shouldn't say it, I don't care. The problem with America is we lost faith. I truly believe that. We've lost I believe there's a reason why the Pope is from America. Catholicism is at an all-time low in America. People don't practice faith. Crime's up. I mean, just if you look at what's acceptable on the moral compass is just really going down. In my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Right? So in my opinion, that's just my opinion, right?
I wouldn't disagree.
So I look at it this way, but the best decision I ever made was the immigrants that have worked in my house have been the most loving, caring. I trust them with my children. There's no way neither one of the 2 women that take care of my boys wouldn't die for my children.
No.
I believe they would lay their lives down. I've seen it. I've seen them protect my children. I've seen them be around my children. They care for my children. And I do believe they're so family fucking oriented. And it's probably what's helped me install my faith in just my own religion and faith and just become a better family person. I see the way they are.
Yeah.
Like their families, like, do you believe family, that the average American people care about their families the way they did 50 years ago?
Oh, no. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
How do you gauge that?
Oh, well,
Through action or inaction? Through time spent together?
People are having less kids, less marriage rates down. You agree that, right? It's down. It is. People having kids are down. I think the average American now has 1.5 kids, right?
But is that a family thing or a behavioral thing with the upcoming generation?
They all come into play.
Well, they're socially fucking weird.
I know, but it doesn't matter. It's your generation, man.
It's not my generation. The kids are 15. You're out of your fucking mind. I'm a millennial.
Kids are having
Gen Z.
Kids are having babies at 15. Most of them. Most people are having kids in their 20s and 30s, right? So it's your generation. I'm not trying to be rude to you. It's just the world has changed. I have 4 children. The average people have 1.5 now. That's a quick change.
Yeah.
Right? People are going to church at an all-time low, which the churches made it hard on themselves, let's be honest, right? I mean, they have, right?
Did themselves no favors.
Did themselves no favors. I mean, the cover-up was worse than the crimes, let's be honest, right? Mm. So, back to your nanny point, when you go to a Jamaica, you go to a Russia, their family comes, I heard Patrick Bet-Davies said, like, people are saying that Muslims are going to be the number one, what's it called? I'm terrible at this thing. Like your nationality or whatever it is, religion in the world, right? Muslims will take over eventually but the average Muslim family has anywhere between 5 and 7 children. Well, if the average Christian family is having 1.5, it's not really hard to see how fast it's going to scale and outpace you. Right? Like that's just pure business 101.
Yeah.
And I do believe the new generation has come more selfish. They're not willing to sacrifice as much. They want to go out and do their thing. The only people I meet, I'm like, man, you have children, they're like, nah, I want to travel. How many fucking travel can you do?
Is it selfish though?
Yes.
Why? Because it's their responsibility to procreate?
I think it's your responsibility to leave a legacy with your family, keep your family going.
That's fair. But couldn't there be an argument made? Like, let's say they want to hold off till 29.
I have no problem with that. I didn't know about my first son. I think I told you the story. I found out when he was 21. His mom told me on Facebook. So I had no clue I had a son out there. But like, I had my first son when I was 38, 37.
Let's say it went up.
My second son.
Let's say it went up to four kids a family in this next generation. Couldn't you say it's more selfish that if they're not qualified as parents, or if they're not ready, that they put the kid in a precarious situation and that they subject them?
That's another thing too. And what do children need? Just tell me what children need.
Right now, Everett needs his diaper change. He needs bottles. He loves bottles, sippy cups, snacks, food.
Not much, right?
Basics.
But he needs your time.
Yeah.
That's all he wants is your love and time.
That's the greatest thing ever.
I mean, and you smile. You haven't smiled an hour and a half on this podcast, you miserable fuck. Miserable fuck. Now you're talking about your son. I go, smile at this guy?
I mean, I walk in, like, if I pick him up from daycare, right? It's like, fuck it, shaking, putting his arms out.
Look at you glowing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being serious right now. Look at you glowing, right? Yeah. That's the glow I have with my children. And my thing is why children don't, and I was so, when you had your first kid, were you scared? Well, you were young, I think you were.
I was fucking terrified.
So I was so terrified when she told me she was pregnant with LJ. Like, I was terrified. I had to go to Dr. Swade. He'll tell you the story. My blood pressure is through the roof. They're going to make me to the hospital. Well, I'd be frozen. Swear to God. Because I was so nervous. And someone said to me, like, and it was the most resonating thing. Doesn't matter how much money you make. Doesn't matter what you do. All your child wants is your time and love.
No. Facts.
Like, that's all you want is your time and love. And that's like, kids understand that their dad's not the wealthiest kid and that you might not be able to get to every pair of new Nike shoes.
Yeah.
Kids don't, but what kids do understand is dad shows up to everything. Dad coaches me. And people always say to me, wait, so you find yourself, dude, the definition of success is money. I don't believe the definition of success is money. I think the definition of success is, and this is where I'm very different than most, is family. What kind of father are you? What kind of man you are?
Yeah.
I always say to people, I will never be a billionaire. And people are like, how do you know that? Because I'm not going to work that hard to be a billionaire.
No.
I'm not giving up the time with my children to be a billionaire.
So, to your point about the time and family,
That's just my opinion. No, I'm right. That's my opinion with me.
Like, footsie with you under that. That's my bad.
Well, you're talking about your kid now. You're sure I'm the kid. I just don't go that way, my man.
Man, there's so many good inserts there. I'm going to leave it alone, though. So that was my stepfather. My stepfather, he was there for every fucking game. When I was in football, whether I started, I was on the bench, didn't fucking matter, right? We had, he sent me to Jim Kelly football camp. You remember when the Bills used to be good, right? In the 90s, and we lost every fucking Super Bowl?
I think you lost 6 of them, right?
Yeah, something like that. What does it matter? 6, 100, 4. But they sent me to this Jim Kelly football game. It was great. And we weren't like a wealthy family by any measure. We were probably like lower middle class. So it meant the world to me that we were doing this. And he was the only fucking person, right? He probably made like $30,000 a year or something, whatever. But he would take his week of vacation every fucking year and sit there all fucking day at the football practice, watching every drill, watching everything. And like when you look back at that, it's like, bro, he was the fucking GOAT. Like, that's crazy. So like with my daughter, I never missed anything except one fucking thing.
And what you just said, he's the GOAT and he only made $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like that. That's why I don't measure success by money. I try and say it to people.
I've had a lot of money. I've had no money. I've had no money with a lot of debt. I've had no money with no debt. And I'll tell you what, life is a lot more complicated, and I haven't been the happiest when I've had the most money.
The happiest time in my life, I say this to everyone, people are like, there's no way. Besides my children, I was 21, 22 years old, 23, living in Northeast Philly. I was a doorman, believe it or not. I was a doorman at bars, strip clubs, and I just didn't have any it's still, besides me having children, is the happiest time of my life.
Yeah.
I look back on my life and I'm like, I was never fucking happier. Life was just simple. I think people overcomplicate it.
You got to cut in from, Knocked Up, where fucking Leslie Mann freaks out. She's like, fucking doorman. You got to cut that into that short. It's going to be fucking gold, I'm telling you. You know what scared me the most about having my daughter? This is fucked up. This will be a good clip for you. I was terrified that I wouldn't have the ability to love somebody as much as I've seen other people loving their children. I couldn't conceptualize it. When I was thinking, like, feeling the way that I see other people acting like they feel, I was like, I don't think I'm capable of that.
Yeah, see, I had nieces and nephews I love more than anything in the world, so I knew I would love my children.
Yeah.
I think my wife felt the way you did.
I was fucking...
But she loves my children to death.
Dude, the minute...
So a different love.
The minute Georgia got put in my arms, and I'm like, oh my fuck, like, okay, that's out the window.
And I think, back to the point of it, I think having children gives you a guiding light of making right decisions. Like every decision I make, I think about my children.
Yeah.
Like, I was a dog before, I had children. Like my wife will tell you, I told you today we were working out. Like what makes me and my wife great, it was so shitty the first few years. Like it don't get, like, I think sometimes we look at it and tell like, man, it was so bad the first few years.
Yeah.
We got this.
Yeah.
We're going to ride this till the wheels come off.
That's part of rock bottom. It's all upside, baby.
Well, that's it, right? So, I think people don't realize, like, kids, man, are just, I don't know. I just think kids give you such a guiding light, and they're so humbling, and you try to, and that's why I try to treat people with respect. I'm like, I want people to treat my children with respect. Listen, I don't want to hold you up too much longer. I want to get your final thought on this. What do you think the biggest responsibility contractors have with their digital agencies to make it work? I don't think people ask that question enough.
It's the biggest responsibility.
Pay attention. So,
pay attention. What should I be paying attention to?
Everything. Pay attention to the leads that are coming in, who's getting the leads, who's closing the leads, who's not closing the leads, what your ROI per different marketing channel is, right? Even if it's not, like, if you hire us to do shit, that's fine, but like you could be spending $100,000 here, $100,000 here, $100,000 here. And like if you have access to all this information because you're paying attention, we could help make all of it better, not just the shit that you're paying us for, right?
When I come back into the space,
mm-hmm.
I feel like when I come back into the space, it's going to be like, do you remember that scene in Spartacus when he says, Rome's going to fucking tremble when I step on it? Like, that's why I feel like digital agencies are like, holy shit, here he comes.
Maybe they will.
But all joking aside, it'd be, why wouldn't you invest in yourself and education and let me help you educate so you'll never be blind again into growing your business.
Yeah, but it's more than the education. They have to apply the education.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like, no, I'm with you. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It goes off of what you said.
Right.
I'm just rewording it a different way. You said pay attention.
Yeah.
Mine is why wouldn't you want to, like, you're going to be running this business for the next 5-10 years until you sell it. We both agree to that. So would you rather be in the dark like you are now? Or would you rather have me invest myself and you invest in yourself that you become educated and you're never in the dark again?
What's the easiest way for them to do that?
Well, partner with someone like you because you clearly are willing to show them the tapes.
Yeah.
I mean, I say I'm coming back in. I don't know if I'm coming back in. I might not. Depends, honestly, on what I decide.
So if somebody's listening to this and they're, your point's resonating as far as like Service Titan and what it can do, how do they know if it's a good time to switch?
Well, if it ain't working, fucking switch.
What if it is working? Or what if they don't know how bad it's not working?
Well, put it this way, if there's ever you feel like there's an opportunity to grow and you don't make a switch, shame on you. Because once you stop growing, you start treading water, you will drown. That's a fact.
I like that.
It's just a fact.
Yeah.
Every time, listen.
Probably sucks to drown.
Listen, I never have.
I've thought of ways to die, and like that would rank pretty high on ways I don't want to die.
That or get in the fire.
Fire. Yeah.
All right. Fire scares everyone.
Yeah, that's the one. That's one in fucking drowning. It's a close 1A, but
you give me a shark attack, alligator bite. It's just, I think it's really, really simple in business is, do you think I ever expected to be in the roofing space, the popcorn space, the rum space?
why popcorn?
Everybody likes popcorn. And people ask me, hey, I like the guy, Doug. He's a good father. He was a good man. Right? So, like, that was, like, simple. I've known him for years. We always talked about doing stuff together.
Yeah.
He was sitting, it went down like this.
Yeah.
He had a popcorn company. I was like, everyone likes popcorn. And he's like, would you want to be my partner? And I was like, how much in the bank? How much debt? Told me that. So I'm going to take 50% of the company. And he said, fun. And I said, I looked at Bill Rizzo. He said, no. He said, Joe Lynn's like, fuck no. And I was like, everyone likes popcorn, guys. And I was like, no, this is just something different. I was like, it's just I needed something different, right? Like, and I'm not being arrogant here. There isn't a roofing company I can't turn into a $20, $30 million roofing company inside of 24, 36 months if they dedicate themselves and just follow my leadership team. It's going to work. It's proven time and time again. We keep duplicating the process. So not that it's boring. It's just boring now. The rum thing was kind of like, this is different. I don't even drink rum. I still don't, even though I own the rum company now. I'm an investor in it. I don't drink rum, so I still won't drink rum. But it was something different, a challenge. They want some help with marketing, some other things. I was like, all right, no, I'll invest in this. And popcorn, I was like, who doesn't like popcorn? If you think about it, like, how many people say to you, I don't like popcorn?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about it since you said it, and I don't know that I met somebody who was like, I just can't stand popcorn.
Like, it's really not that fucking hard of it. It's like, if you can't sell popcorn, you probably can't
What's so showing is like a fucking gourmet popcorn? Is it
It's
kettle
corn.
corn?
I've never even been to a fucking popcorn shop.
Yeah. Have you had it?
We have had it, right, Julissa?
Jesus Christ.
I've eaten it, right? I had the buffalo. It was good. Listen, I'm not a popcorn connoisseur, but I was like, it's good. Tasted good. I bought it because of him. All my partners I have in business is because they're good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the truth. I buy people. I don't buy companies.
I heard people in their resumes.
Oh, resumes are garbage.
They're so garbage.
Thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate it. I enjoyed the workout this morning and the cold bath.